A little birdie told me I can't write openings to videos anymore. Well, show that birdie I can. They also said I can't think of good video ideas that'll do numbers on the YouTube video sharing platform. F you, I just thought of one. You know, I think I'm gonna rank every video game console menu ever made. But Big Sleeter, so many people have done this before. Luigi's killed a CEO doesn't mean I can't kill another. I'm not in court for the threat, I just forgot to pay a parking ticket. So yeah, I think this will be fun. You know, bust out all the game consoles, kick around with the menus on them. Maybe I'll come to like the 360's current menu. I'll be dead before that. Also, I'm just gonna make it clear, this is probably not every single video game console menu ever made. All right, don't kill me over it. I'm trying my best here. So let's not waste any more time, Big Sleeter Nation. Let's go to the very first menu ever made for a video game console. This menu is so Phillips-fully CDI-full. This feels like it was crafted in Microsoft PowerPoint. Actually, it could even be Microsoft Paint. And let's give our Mac users some love. You could make it in Keynote. It's basic as all hell, but like at the same time, what are you gonna be doing on here that warrants anything more? It feels like the time, you know? Like it's so simple and ass that it reeks of the 90s. Gradient background, simple logo here, riveting options like the open button. Wow! Very 90s. Simple, not the best looker. Philips. Now there is another CDI menu depending on what model CDI you have. You could have this one or the cooler one. I gotta fuck with this one. I don't know, the CDs in the background are so like CD console in the 90s core. Like, you know how in the 90s the whole gimmick for CD-based consoles was, hey, we're not using cartridges, guys. Oh, hell yeah, now I'm gonna play video games. I also do like how there's actually more options on the main menu. It looks like there's actual shit to do on here now. The CD background menu is better than the gradient menu. I know it's odd hearing that after what I just said, but it's just true. The Satellaview was this add-on for the Super Nintendo that allowed you to download games and other media via satellite broadcast in Japan. And only Japan. Basically, content would be broadcast at certain times, so you could download it to your system. They had like a 16-bit Zelda remake and an Excite-Byte game with Mario characters. I hate living in Boston. But guess who has a menu? This is not a menu. What the fuck is this? All right, put in a name. Asks me if I'm a boy or girl. Don't ask personal questions. But Satellaview's menu is this sort of pseudo hub world where you can roam around this little town in which each building is a specific option. Go to the antenna building to download shit that's being broadcasted at that time. Yeah, that's kind of it. Basically, every building's like an option you can select on a regular-ass menu. And as a Nintendo fan, I fucking love this. It's probably the most creative menus of all time. And it's barely a menu. That's kind of the issue with it. It's barely a menu. Like, yeah, it's fucking rad as shit, but if I was a dumb piss baby consumer gamer, I'd have no idea what the fuck is going on. Okay, to be fair, they literally tell you where everything is when you walk up to it. I don't know, maybe I'm just complaining for the sake of complaining. I think having a damn hub world-ass menu is rad as shit. Definitely above the CDI, because how many consoles can you say is a full-ass hub world for a menu? Philips is washed. Oh, and while writing this video, I was informed their Sega CD had a menu. Worse than CDI Model 2. 3Do. The 3DO was a console that could have actually succeeded. It's one of the many we can make consoles too, but people actually bought this one. My dad used to tell me he had a friend who had one back in the day, and I also had an old friend whose dad had one, and it was just in their closet and was rotting away. I offered to buy it off them because I collect video game consoles. Like, look at my video game collection. I own a fucking Alarmo. They didn't sell it to me, by the way. That's why we're not friends anymore. The 3DO was the coolest thing. Putting those Nintendo and Sega consoles back in the toy bin's cool. So cool it was too expensive. That's kind of why it failed. But hey, enough about the failure of you tried. How's the menu? This is the worst one. Like, maybe I should do a better job at explaining why I don't like it. I mean, just fucking look at it. Guys, I don't want to be too mean on it, but like, I think this might be the worst console menu of all time. I just pissed off a lot of geologists right now. Maybe I'll study some geology so I can like it better, but for now I fucking hate this bottom of the list. The PS1, the first we can make consoles too that actually did succeed. And I mean it fucking succeeded. PS1 has two examples of a menu depending on which model you had, and they both suck. Big Sleeter, do you like anything? No. The fat PS1, or the original model, had this menu design. Very abstract. There's a static image blue background with two 3D balls and a hearty dose of rainbow paint splatter button. Funnily enough, depending on which model of the fat PS1 you had, the paint splatter colors changed. I don't like it. It's got a lot of the issues a lot of 90s consoles menu have, but at least it has personality. The slim PS1 doesn't. I feel like I gotta be on my best behavior when I use this. And I'm not one to be on my best behavior, so fuck you, PS1. I think the slim menu fits more for the PS1 branding, but it's just really fucking boring. Both are probably the worst PlayStation console menus, but just because there's really nothing here. I'm putting both on their CDI Model 2 because fuck you, that's why. The Sega Saturn, my second favorite failed console. The thing that killed Sega, but it's still cool as shit. I fucking love this thing. And the best version of Mega Man 8. How many consoles can say that? And the menu's probably one of my favorites as well. It really plays into the astronomy-ass shit Sega was going for at this time. Like, you know how many old canceled video game consoles they had that were named after planets like Neptune, Jupiter, Space Pluto, background Mercury. While you're in a spaceship, and when you play CDs, there's two 3D orbs that bump to your music. There's also a vocal remover, but it sucks ass, but I think that's just neat that they have it. This is neat. This console's just neat. All the buttons are these spheres with these neurons or whatever. I feel chemistry orbiting around them when hovering over a menu item. I like it. It's not a design that would really work today, but it's a total product of its time, but it's still really nice and isn't too gross like with other 90s consoles around this time. You can also add the menu buttons and whoa! It's a very fun to fiddle with menu, but doesn't fuck around when it asks not to. Settings are clear as day, setting time, managing memory, stuff like that. It doesn't try to be too fancy with bold and cap lock text because it doesn't really need to. But even then, it doesn't look too boring or butt-booty ugly, nor does it feel extremely different from the main menu of the console. It just feels straight to the point, no bullshit. This menu makes you feel like you're the captain of the ship, and when you put in a game, you're getting like sent to this unworldly next-gen video game software. It does a great job balancing the practicality a menu needs while also not being too boring or too loud with its design. It's really one of the best menus of this console generation. Top of the list. Good job, Sega. Sales-wise, horrible job, but menu, great fucking job. Wait, what console is this for? Yeah, so the N64 doesn't have a menu. The disk drive add-on had a startup intro, and then Mario runs, and there's a clock. Oh my lordy jordy. But fun fact, originally the N64 had the guts of a 64DD pretty much, and had this menu. Welcome back, Sega Dreamcast. Yeah, it's a shame we never got this. But the N64 seemed like a fucking powerhouse more than it actually was. Also, I'm lying out of my ass. This is fake. Lying's not illegal. The thread I made earlier just caught up to me.
Hello, Big Sleeter Nation. It's me, Big Sleeter from the Big Sleeter game. I'm at work right now, and I got told that there was like an N64 menu for the IQ player. So this menu has like Princess Peach. It's kind of weird as shit. I don't know what the hell. Oh, there's Zelda. Let me blink. And the menu is not that bad. It's kind of basic, but like it's not bad. Like it could have been a whole lot worse. I'm gonna give it an IQ out of 64. All right.
TheGame.com. Tiger's answer to fan demands of man. I wish my Game Boy sucked ass. We say grace when we use this. You can play Sonic Jam on this thing. It's genuinely fucking unplayable. I'm glad Tiger still knows what it's best at. Unplayable slop. You know, I prepared to talk about why this menu sucks, but honest to God, it's pretty decent. Not much to say about it. The icons are nice, and it's just a very practical menu and works great with the stylus. I like the animations when you select each option, especially the cartridge option. Like, this shit is so unnecessary, but it's the unnecessary charm that I like in these menus. It's so, like, I'm sorry, PS1 lovers. I gotta put it above the PS1. Knocked a lot of points for being grayscale, but also it's the fucking game.com. It couldn't do much to help that. The Geo Pocket Color. SNK's answer to fan demands of... Okay, they weren't answering anything, right? I don't have much to say about this one either. It's pretty bad. I like the menu music though, it's really good. Though because I'm an internet critic, I do have to complain. It's not console menu-esque in sound. Good ass music, but it needs to be more ambient to fit as a menu, because if I was playing Guess the Console menu, I wouldn't even think this is a console menu theme. Alright, enough bitching about the good parts, let's bitch about the bad parts. Yeah, like there's any bad parts of this menu, Big Sleeter. The buttons. Oh my god, there is bad parts of this menu! The buttons are odd. Like, they're just so small, and they had to cram the words in them, and they just don't fit, so they split the words, and it just looks bad. It looks bad. There's so much room for you to widen the buttons, just do that. It looks fine with the alarm button, but everything else is 2 lines, and I fucking hate it. Let me complain about unnecessary things SNK is not gonna fix because they haven't supported this thing since like the early 2000s. Below PS1. That's right. I'm not fucking around anymore. I like the background though, it's pretty. The Dreamcast, one of my favorite consoles ever. It had some stellar fucking games on it like Sonic Adventure 2, and that's it. The greatest boot up animation ever, and the menu is pretty damn great as well. It's like, I don't know, I like how this looks. It looks so 1999, 2000, while also looking so damn sleek and modern. Each of the 4 main options have this icon that's 3D and dances around when selected. I like that. The sub-menus are also pretty practical and don't dilly-dally whatsoever. Very much akin to the Saturn and how its main menu is fun, but the sub-menus are practical as practical can be. The only con I have is that I think the Saturn has a better CD player menu. Like, this is kind of boring compared to the 3D orbs of the Saturn, but other than that, it's pretty freaking good. It feels like it's one of the first menus that should come up even with the game inside the console. Like, it feels so modern yet so retro and nostalgic. I also just have nostalgia with this one. I never grew up with the Dreamcast, but I was still like 11 when I got it, so I remember dicking around with this menu a lot. But yeah, the Dreamcast is one of my favorite menus. Sega's been the console menu MVP. Like, they know how to balance fun and practical. I hope they continue to produce more great console menus. April Fools, this was our last console. Just because I feel bad, I'm going to put it above the Satellaview. PlayStation 2. The first console I ever remember playing other than a hand-me-down Nintendo I got from my uncle, so fuck you, my bias is coming in clutch. Nostalgia goggles don't seem to work because this thing's not great. League's better than the PS1 in terms of look. Like, it hits it out of the park with having the aesthetic of the PS2 itself. It just makes me uncomfortable. It's so empty. Like, oddly empty. Like, it feels like there should be more here. But there's just not. Not to mention this layout's boring as fuck. You have the two options of browser, which is the worst name because my ass thought it was a web browser. Spoiler alert, it's the memory card manager, and system config. It does exactly what you think it does. I like the aesthetic of it, but the Arial font is so goddamn boring. I don't even know if it's actually Arial font, but it's still boring. As ominous as the memory card menu looks, I do like the icons. Other than that, it scares me. It's too blank. I feel uncomfortable. I'm putting it above the CDI just because I feel like it's gonna kill me if I don't put it there. She gamed my cube till I Wii. Hey there, were you born in the late 90s and have a GameCube? Oh, I won't shut the fuck up about the GameCube. Mario Kart Double Dash is better than Mario Kart 8, and Sonic Mega Collection made me a Sonic fan. The GameCube menu is fantastic. No background, which is like boring, but to be fair, it fits the aesthetic of the console itself while also making the transition from intro to menu seamless. Which is my favorite part about this menu. The calendar option has the hands inside the cube while telling you the date and time. It's fucking sick. Adjusting it, oh my god, the font's built of cubes like it's a GameCube or something. Each game in the memory card is a smaller cube. Dude, this is fucking eye candy. It's kind of weird to think how Nintendo lost this generation, but to be fair, look at the GameCube. Would you rather this petite little fuck or the badass PlayStation 2? Yeah, I'll just get a PS3, it's newer. It's such a good menu, man. I love every aspect of it. I hate to suck the GameCube's cock like every other Nintendo YouTuber on the planet, but it's a good-ass menu. It's going on the top of the list. And it will probably stay in the top. I want to be top. The OG Xbox, a console I own the box for. This is very big for me. Let me have this moment. Microsoft's first go at a game console, and they sure as hell went in with as much of a bang as they could have. It sold significantly worse than the PS2 and only a bit better than the GameCube, but the loud marketing and the look of the system is super iconic and set Xbox as a huge name in game console history. Anyway, the menu's cool as hell. I like the more futuristic-ass look of the whole thing. Like, it feels like I'm in a lab in a movie and I'm trying to do experiments on this alien from another planet or some shit like that. The ambience is creepy as fuck. I would have hated that shit as a kid. The gear sounds when hovering different options is pretty cool, though. I'm easily amused. All the different transitions, the background, it's pretty cool. I don't know how to describe this, but like it feels like an app for Windows XP for games, and that's kind of rad. Like it has that Windows XP kind of style to it. I know you hearing that makes me sound like a fucking nut, but like, hear me out. It feels like a menu for a gaming app that would appear on Windows XP. It doesn't feel like Windows XP. It just feels like an app for Windows XP. And as someone whose parents refused to upgrade to Windows Vista or Windows 7 till they got a new desktop, I feel nostalgic for this one, even though I never had one as a kid. Can't say it's my favorite menu ever, but I like it over the PS2 and Friend. Next up is the DS. For all the Nintendo consoles with menus like the GameCube, Wii, 3DS, DSi, Wii U, Switch, everything else, this is the one where I just never look back at it. But thinking around with it now, fuck with it. The biggest con is trying to do God knows anything on this thing, and once you're done, you need to shut off the entire console. That's dumb. I hate that. But one thing I like is how personalized you can make it. Like, you can put in a nickname, choose a color, and that's it. I like the grid background and how everything fits into the grid, like the buttons or the clock and calendar, but excluding system settings, because fuck me, I guess, yeah. I also like the layout of it all. Like, the top has the DS slot, the bottom has the GBA slot, like, on the actual system. That's really neat. I like that. And also PictoChat and Download Player in the middle or something. Everything's clear and easy to use. It's a good-ass menu. The only gripe I really have with it is that everything needs you to turn off the console when you're done with it, and that's kind of annoying. Definitely gonna be up there on the list, but the Satellaview has a hub world, so. The Gizmondo, known for being the worst handheld console ever. It has a menu. I don't know what you want me to say. Just put it below the PS2 or something, whatever. The Xbox 360, one of my favorite consoles ever. Got it for the Kinect, stayed for Minecraft. The 360 is known for two things. One, fumbling at the very, very end of its life and giving second place to the PS3. And two, just changing the menu type whenever it felt like it. Firstly, you have the Blades dashboard, one of the most beloved Xbox menus of all time. The one people you can smell from a mile away call the best one. It's fine. I like the different colors indicating what menu you're in, and I just kind of like the Blades look overall. I don't know what it is. I never grew up with it, but it was really cool to me. This feels like Windows Vista 7 era design with all the skeuomorphism, the transitions, the overall look. I think once again, it's just nostalgia from that time period. Like, I grew up with XP and 7, so a lot of that gradient-ass skeuomorphism look of that time really resonates with me. But to be honest, it doesn't scream the 360 to me unlike the OG Xbox, and how that screams OG Xbox. Actually, to be honest, this just screams. And also, hitting the Xbox button has this slide over on the left, and it's not like the middle square menu that I'm used to, and I fucking hate that. I hate how this looks. It's so obnoxious. I don't know what it is. It just pisses me off. Later on, around 08 or so, Microsoft released the new Xbox Experience Dashboard. I didn't grow up with this one, but my stepbrother's 360 had this menu, so I knew I've used it before, but not for long because as soon as I gained consciousness for things, Microsoft released the Metro theme. Like the Blades dashboard, it feels straight out of that Windows era. Like it looks like an app straight out of Windows 7, and I really like it. I like it a bit more than Blades, to be honest. It was the update that introduced the Xbox avatars, which I had a lot of fun customizing as a kid, almost as much as Mii's, but in a different kind of fun. Like Mii's were fun because, oh look, I'm making Luigi, and Xbox avatars were fun because I could have a 360 shirt and give myself blue hair. That's fire as fuck. I like the layout of it all too. The top tabs are laid out vertically, while everything in the tab is this rectangle underneath it, and all the rectangles are in front of each other. And it just like when you scroll to different like things, it just like. Just look at it, all right? Just look at it. It's so, oh my lordy jordy, it's so neat. This dashboard feels like it belongs on the 360. Also, fun fact, on the NXT dashboard, the sub-menu, when you press the Xbox buttons, the fucking blades menu shrunken down. That's sick as hell. Later, when the Kinect came out, they released this in-between menu where they were like, they flattened the icons and made them next to each other, and it looks bad. Why the fuck did they do that? And then, it happened. As a young 360 child, I have a lot of nostalgia for this one. Not because it's good, but because it's the one I remember the most about. Like in the unfinished basement playing Minecraft, this was the 360 menu to me. But looking back, even with my nostalgia goggles on, this menu's fucking garbage. It's everything that sucks about modern Windows nowadays, like the ads, the everything. It was released around the time of Windows 8, so it has that Metro tile look of Windows 8, and it's not bad. It's not why I hate it. Things I like about the Metro UI. I really like the layout. I like the top tabs being horizontal instead of vertical. Not that I hated the vertical orientation, but it's a lot easier just to hit bumpers and go from page to page. And I like the layout of the titles. That's all that's good about it. This menu is riddled with ads. Like, it's not even subtle about it. This shit is designed to show you as many ads in every single fucking tab. Just not even the home tab. Like, literally all of them. And as much as the layout itself is fine, the way everything is organized is just so garbage. TV before games on my game console. Yeah, that's smart. Bing! Who the fuck uses this tab? Hey, fuck you, Big Sleeter. I'm sorry, Bing Fan 234. I didn't see you there. The most Bing has ever been relevant since this inclusion was when they added the AI art feature to Bing, and like YouTubers gassed it up because they didn't need to spend like 20 bucks for some thumbnail art anymore. Bing ruined searching for clip art. The tile format with the horizontal tabs on the top, good. Everything else, bad. Probably the worst. Okay, 3DO is worse. I'm grouping the PSP and PS3 together because they're pretty much the same. The Cross Media Bar, but friends call them XMB. This is my favorite PS interface ever. The XMB was this universal menu that Sony used on every single pre-PS4 era piece of tech. If it was made by Sony, it had the XMB. I had a DVD player with the XMB. They had them on TVs. This one failed PS2 that was a DVR or something had it. If they made a smart fridge, it'd have the XMB on it. It's formatted like a cross, hence the name. There's icons laid out horizontally that are different categories with different tabs. Everything inside said category is laid out vertically in a cross format. I'm gonna be XMB Strongest Soldier. This fucks hard. It's a very modern looking menu. The flat icons with the animated background, the little sounds it makes when navigating it. It feels the most modern out of the 7th gen console menus. It's kind of a shame they don't use it anymore. Like after like 2012, they killed off the XMB entirely with the Vita Live area and a bunch of PS4 looking ass menus for other tech. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, growing up with both a PS3 and PSP alongside a whole ass DVD player with the XMB. I like it, so that must mean it's good. Best PlayStation menu, hands down. Yes. The Wii menu. My nostalgia goggles are gonna have a fucking field day with this one. I grew up with this, a black RVL 001 Wii. Had the Wii and internet video on it. Parents threw it out with my Wii music disc inside. I'm still mad about that. The Wii menu was made with the Wiimote in mind. It's super easy just to point at it, the screen, and select what you needed to select. That's why they went with the channels look, because A, Wii remote, and B, point at screen like said remote. Design-wise, it's sort of basic. Like, you have all the apps aligned with the static white background, but they're fucking channels. That's fucking awesome. When you click on a channel, it has this channel banner before you start the channel, and it's got a little jingle, it's got a little animation. It's so awesome. I love it. I'm having a blast right now. One thing I like about console menus is the snappiness of it all. I mean, like, if a menu takes a while to get shit done, I fucking hate that. The Wii is Snap City. Everything is super quick and responsive. It's something I knocked the Wii U and 3DS for, but to be fair, they're not as bad as I remember. The settings menu is boring as fuck. I think they just gave up on that. There's not much to say about it other than that, though. It's an extremely iconic menu and just overall great to use. Is it as cool as the GameCubes or Saturns? Not really. But third place is still pretty good. Look at the bottom scrolls, that's not right. The DSi. I never had one growing up. Had a white DS Lite, jumped straight to a 3DS XL. Then I got a 2DS when my 3DS XL broke. I bought another 3DS XL. The menu is sort of a parallel to the Wii. The snappiness of selecting stuff, the white background with the ambient music in the background, how the icons move on the menu and shit. The top menu displays photos in your camera roll. That's cute. Mine displays my old cat. I try to play the DSi to get away from reality. The cat is dead and it makes me sad. Overall, not much to say about it. It's pretty solid. I wish I had the option of changing how many rows of icons there were like on the 3DS, but hey, whatever. They're not going to update it no matter how hard I beg them to. Above the XMB, I love the Cross. I like Flipnote a little better. But Sony can redeem themselves with the Xperia Play. It's an Android phone, but also a handheld console. You flip it around, the menu goes from old-ass Android to old-ass gaming interface. I don't like it. I'm putting it below Gizmondo. The 3DS.
Hello, little stylus.
Hello, friend.
Alright, the icon's still dancing around like on the DSi, but it's whatever. We have the 3D banner up top. That's pretty damn cool. If you blow on the mic, it spins faster. When I was a kid, I sneezed and it picked up as me blowing on the mic. That's how I discovered that. Other than that, I like it. I like how the bottom screen icons can either be a single row like the DSi, or you can stack them as much as humanly possible. I've always had it either single or double when I was a kid. No reason as to why, it was simple as hell. I never really got digital games, so every game I owned was like physical, so I'd rather the big menu icon because I can either make some Mii's or play a game. I also love the themes. I never got to buy any other than the ones on my Nintendo or that free Sonic Boom one, but especially with my modded 3DS, you can even make your own custom themes and it's really neat. Mine's Chief Keef themed. And because Chief Keef is a cultural reset, it's going above the DSi. The PS Vita is my favorite PlayStation console I didn't own. The Vita menu is the first PlayStation to be rid of the XMB, which sucks because the XMB fucking rocks, and it goes for this. Bubbles. This is called the live area. I don't know why it's called that. Stop asking me questions, Jesus fucking Christ. I don't like it. Like, I don't mind the bubbles look, even though I don't really understand why they went for that rather than keeping the XMB and trying not bubbles. The whole menu itself looks fine enough. It works with the touchscreen phenomenally, which is something a lot of things have a hard time doing. I can't think of an example. But anywhere else, this menu kind of stinks. Like, it feels like they had a bajillion menu ideas. Instead of narrowing it down to one, they just put them all in a blender. Like, you got bubbles, you got pages, you got the normal-ass PlayStation menu. Oh, yeah, we're about to sell 15 million of these in our first year, right? But for what it does good, it's great. The menu music's a bop. The bubbles are cool as fuck. They jiggle around, too. But for what it does wrong, put it above the Blades menu, just to piss off some other 30-year-old. So I was gonna sit here and talk about why I don't really care for the Wii U menu, but my friend Taka Typhoon talked me out of it and showed me all the great things about the Wii U menu. She told me to wait in the car, and then she wrote a whole, like, notes section, and then just explained why the Wii U menu is really good. And now looking back at it, I gotta say I really like the Wii U menu. But it's slow as shit. I don't know, the snappiness of the Wii and DSi just isn't here with the Wii U. I also don't really care for the grid-like layout of the icons, but that's just personal preference. I know why people like this menu, and I totally understand. I'm just an internet reviewer, so I hate it and should be executed by firing squad. I will give the look of the grid a plus, though. Each icon's this square bubble-looking thing, and it's kind of fire. It feels like a great parallel to the 3DS menu, and I think that's just kind of why I don't really mind it now. On the top screen, you have the plaza, which is called the Wara Wara Plaza. And on the other screen, you have the main grid menu. The Wara Wara Plaza just had Mii's like telling you, oh yeah, I like this game. And oh my god, look at this thing I found in the game. But now that Miiverse is discontinued, you can't really do that anymore. I mean, if you have Pretendo, then you can, but I'm gonna try and be on Nintendo's good side today, alright? No more talking about mods, alright? I love the transition from TV to gamepad too. You can have the plaza and all the Mii's standing around the game they played, and then you switch screens and the background pans up showing the sky. I think this is sky. I always saw it as a white sky with some gray clouds with funny shapes. It kind of just feels like you're looking up into the sky is like this dreamy but catchy background music. Looking at a bunch of squares with Mario games, and when you enter a game, you're being transported to the childlike experience you'll never see again. I'm high on crack, so bear with me. Overall, I like the Wii U menu a bit better than I did 5 seconds ago, but I do wish there was a lot more snappiness to it, like the Wii and DSi. I do gotta give a point to the Wii U for having the better background music. And I'm gonna use this time to thank Taka for just helping me with this video. She kind of just gathered all the menus. It was really helpful. Thanks, pal. Make the damn Puzzle League video already. The Ouya! I don't know why I said it like that. The Ouya is one of those consoles that everyone heard of but knows about, but they just never owned. One of the biggest Kickstarter success stories. It was marketed as the game dev's best friend device. A shit-ass controller and a shit-ass everything about it. This console menu is one of the worst console menus of all time. It looks fine, like I think it's a very practical design, but there's like zero transitions and animations, and when there is, it's just laggy as all hell. And the sounds are just annoying as fuck. It sounds like they took Xbox sounds and pitched them down. This sucks. 3DO's still worse. The PS4. PS4 is a console I really like. I don't really care for the menu though. Like the Vita, the layout of the PS4 is really competent. I have my personal gripes with it, but overall it's pretty damn competent. However, one of the biggest downgrades is the overall snappiness. On the XMB, everything felt super quick and nimble. I hit a button, I immediately get sent to what the thing I was doing. The PS4 is so damn slow. Every time I select something, it takes a 5-minute snack break. You can chalk it up to the HDD in the console, but it doesn't explain why the PS3 is quicker, and that has an older HDD. I'm gonna buy a PS5, it's newer. The ambience in the background's nice, so I gotta give it that. I think it excels in the themes. Like, this is probably the best of the themes I've ever looked on a PlayStation console. I just think the XMB does a lot better than this menu and then the other post-PS3 menu by Sony. It's just my personal bias. I don't like the XMB erasure here. I'm putting it below the PS2 because I still think the PS2 is gonna kill me. And you know what? Just to end the PS line of stuff early, let's skip to the PS5. I like how much faster it is compared to the PS4, but like, the Explore tab's annoying. I hate how this is the first thing you see when you boot the console. It's not as bad as the Xbox with ads, but I just prefer this not to be here. There's no way to get rid of it, by the way. And the fact that there's so much empty space on here just irks me. Like, yeah, let the art flourish. Like, it's really nice art. But there's so much room to the side where the art isn't. Like, I guess you have the logo and the play button, but you also don't need either of these. You're just filling up space that you couldn't figure out how to fill up. Fuck you. I don't know, there's just a lot here that kind of irks me. Like, it's got a nice ambience, it feels very PlayStation in design, more than the PS4, honestly. Having games and media in separate tabs is fine. The overall snappiness of it all is really fine. Doesn't excuse the issues that plague this menu. Also, there's no themes. What the fuck? Guys, I'm starting a new movement. We're bringing back the XMB. It was cool, it was useful, and I understood it. Bring it back for the PS6. Come on, Sony. Below PS4. The Xbox One menus were genuinely terrible until the Series X and S came out. The first menu is plagued with everything wrong with the 360 Metro theme. Like, this is just the worst version of the 360's menu, holy fuck. The ads have taken a back seat, which, you know, that's a good thing. I'm glad they did that. But it just looks like a worse 360 menu. Just look at it. Like, it's too flat. I don't know how to describe it, just look at it, you know what I mean. The menu in between this and the series menus is a slight improvement, but still plagues with the god-awful ideas Microsoft had with the Xbox One. Like it being the one box for everything. Like, shut the fuck up, let me play Halo. I like when you enter the store tab, it changes to a bunch of tabs for the store page. That's cool. I'm once again easily amused. Not the worst menu out there, but it plagues of all the UI issues Microsoft had in this era. The series console menus are genuinely a huge improvement over this, however. It feels like they sort of locked in with giving an actual game console menu interface rather than whatever the fuck they try to do at the tail end of the 360 start of the One. It feels like an actual game console now, and even if it still has ads, it still has a lot of big Microsoft issues that Microsoft has. It's a huge step up from what came before. The dynamic backgrounds are nice, the layout of it all is nice. This is a nice menu. My thumbs are up. Sorry, there's not much to talk about with this menu, but menus are just kind of getting boring at this point, so it's just good, I guess. First menu's going below 360 Metro, second one's going above, and the series one's above the PS5. It doesn't matter, no one buys Xboxes anymore. Ah, Big Sleeter, I buy Xboxes. I hate PlayStation. I don't care. The Switch. Probably the most hated menu ever. Nintendo fans can't fathom minimalistic design. They go fucking nuts. If you were here to hear me bitch about it, okay, yeah, it is the worst out of the Nintendo menus. But to be honest with you, it's not the worst menu. Like, people make it out to be way worse than it actually is. It is a very practical menu. It gets the job done extremely well. You have all the boring and lesser options at the bottom with app icons and big loud shit over here. It's simple, and while it lacks a lot of Nintendo charm, it's leagues better than how people describe it. Should it have more personality? Yeah. The fact that it's been 8 years and I still can't make the menu Chief Keef themed is fucking dumb. 3DS 1, Switch 0. It's a totally serviceable menu, though. Yeah, I have issues with the customization features, but I'm not losing sleep over it. I'm just losing sleep over how I can't make it blue. But that's right, fucker. I defended the Switch menu. And finally, the last console to talk about is the Steam Deck. And this is just Steam Big Picture mode. I'm putting it in the Steam Big Picture. So, what did we learn today? Big Sleeter really likes the XMB.